Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Open Book Besties. I'm Misty Walker.
And I'm Kay Webster.
And I have to remind myself of the name of the podcast every single time. I have it written down, like right underneath my monitors.
And we already decided that our intro is lame.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to another podcast, the Casual Prepper, and theirs is like so good. And remember I sent it to you, and you're like, "Oh wow!" And I was like, "This is how we should be," but we're not. But they had the same chemistry like you and I do.
Yeah,
like had the one that was kind of like the leader of the show, which would be you, like the cool, calm, collected, and then they just had like the wild card person that just kind of
spaz.
Yeah, they're just like says whatever, and I was like, wow, these guys really remind me of us.
Yeah. They really do.
They do, and they're funny.
Actually, I got caught up listening to it, and I was only supposed to listen to 5 minutes that you wanted me to, and I ended up listening to like 25 minutes of it.
And I started listening to another one, and they had their wives on there, and it was just funny because the wives were giving them crap, and because they're used to, like, it'd be like if we invited Ty and Matt to our show, like it would turn into the Christy and Misty show to the let's make fun of our wives show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, go away.
Exactly. So you know that I had to take my dog to the vet today, which didn't end up working out. But anyway, the exciting thing is that I met like a reader for the first time.
What?
She asked if I could, well, not really out in the wild. She wanted to buy paperbacks, and she asked if she could just meet me somewhere to pick them up. And I was like, yeah, sure.
That's
and
so cool.
I put on my big girl panties and I met someone face to face.
Oh, that was cool. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was fun. And she was super sweet. And the guy she was with, I'm not sure if it was her boyfriend or husband, but he was really, really ultra nice. And it was exciting.
That's so much fun.
Like, yeah, it was like a precursor to the book signing.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to meet people like that. Somebody asked me one time, well, they ask me this often, do you ever go out in public and people recognize you? And I'm like, first of all, I don't go out in public. Second of all, no. I have not reached that stage yet. But it's funny, there are other authors who are always posting about how, like, they go out in public and people recognize them. And I'm like, yeah. I don't know. Like, I guess I really don't go out in public enough to get recognized.
You don't? No. I'm sure you would if you actually went out like normal people do.
But I don't.
You probably would, but I don't either.
It doesn't count going to the hair salon when it's just me and my hair lady.
Right.
All the old people.
There are a lot of readers in Oklahoma too, like right around you. A lot.
Yep. And there's a lot of authors too.
Yeah.
There's like there's this whole like Tulsa, there's just a whole bunch of authors here in this area. And then, just anytime, I don't know, there's just like, I even met up with a reader down the street, and she literally lives less than a mile away from me.
Oh yeah.
And so we went and had lunch. And then I just was talking to another girl, and she lives in Broken Arrow as well. And she was like, blah, 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 you're going to have these pins or whatever at the book signing. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, and I'll make sure to save you one or whatever, because, she was so local. It's just, I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't met her, but I'm going to. And then who knows, maybe we'll have lunch too.
Yeah. There's not a lot of readers in my area that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty open about where I live, like on social media and TikTok and something. And this is the first person that ever was like, hey, I live in Reno too,
Mm-hmm.
So it was exciting.
Well, and where I live, it's kind of like it's through a pathway from like big city to big city. So like you can go from like Dallas to, St. Louis, kind of. It's like in that path, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So basically a lot of people, when they're traveling, I've had people be like, I'm traveling and I'm going through Broken Arrow because it's kind of a through place,
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll, like one of my friends, she stopped and visited, and I brought her up here, and she just, I let her pick out some books, and it was fun. So,
Yeah.
my husband's like, "Aren't you afraid these people are gonna like be serial killers?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not a complete idiot." I mean, I only
Well,
got in that van one time, that white van.
it only took that once.
Mhm.
Well, she was supposed to come here to pick him up, and I was surprised when I asked my husband if he was comfortable with that, and he was like, "Yeah, it's fine,"
Mhm.
because they're both like a little paranoid about that kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's because we're nice and we go with the flow, and I feel like they think that we really will get kidnapped or taken advantage of. Like they don't realize we just play dumb around them so that they'll
Yeah,
do all the
so they'll
things.
do things. Yep.
We're not really dumb. We actually have like really good, sense. So, but my husband, he probably thinks I'm one of the kids, like she doesn't know what's happening.
You gotta keep her in line.
Yeah. One time we were at the airport and he was like, "Christy, stop staring at people. You're gonna get killed." And I was like, I can people watch. That's a thing. People watching is a thing. I can make eye contact and smile to people. It's people. And he's like, "No, you can't. Like, you're gonna piss someone off." And I'm like, people aren't like that. But that's just our differing opinions.
Yeah, I'm definitely a people watcher. I could sit in the airport all day long and just watch because there's so much exciting stuff going on.
And listen to what they're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, which that's kind of how you and I are, is we like to hear things, and this kind of ties into what we're going to talk about today.
yeah,
Is we like to hear things, we're interested, we want to know what's going on, but that's it.
yeah.
You
That's
won't
where it
see us like
stops.
if it's at the airport and these two people are throwing down and having a fight, you're not going to see us getting involved trying to separate them or trying to mediate or choosing sides or anything like that. We just like pretend we're not watching, but really secretly
Yeah.
watching, you know?
Yeah, because there's been a lot of drama going on in the Booklandia.
There is. I have been doing this for publishing for 8 years, and there is always
Yeah,
drama.
always.
So I don't know if you need to get that or not.
Can you hear my dog?
I didn't know if you need to get him or not.
No, there's nothing I can do. My husband's gone. Nobody can control the dogs. So,
Right. The reader's
that's
gonna
just our
hear.
background noise.
Right. Okay. Okay. But yeah, like I don't remember what I was saying.
Oh, and my dog won't shut up. I knew Amazon was gonna pop in like right at the worst time. I just knew it. The poor Amazon guy is here every single day.
I know. Same. Our guy, they get so annoyed with us, I think.
Yeah, because it's always like something stupid. He makes a delivery at like what 2:00 on a Saturday for tape,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then like the UPS guy, he doesn't like us because every time he comes, he has to bring his dolly out and carry all these books.
Oh
He's
yeah.
always ordering books, and they're heavy. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
And the other day I got candles and they were super heavy, and he was like, "These, I don't know what's in these boxes." He was griping. I was like, "Sorry." But anyway,
Oh,
yeah,
well.
okay. Back to our subject is there's always drama in Booklandia. I have been doing this for 8 years. That's where I was. I've been publishing for 8 years, and from the very get-go, from the very second that I joined Bookland, there was drama. There has always been drama. There's always something, and I think there's two factors. One, what we do, what we create is basically built on drama. Like you're writing
Right.
drama. Okay, so that's one thing. Two is this is one of those rare, super close-knit communities. So where we can all band together and be, amazingly supportive of each other. It's also like spending too much time with your family at Christmas and people start annoying you and you start, griping, and someone throws down in the kitchen and leaves off in a huff and you don't talk to them for 2 years. It's like the same thing. It's like too much togetherness is going to spawn fights. And so there's always drama. There always will be drama, but there's a way to avoid drama.
Right.
So,
And and when you see the drama, it's easy to just jump onto social media and just, you know, either pick sides or rant and rave about it. It never ends well for you. It's
No,
better just to pop your popcorn and take a step back and watch.
right. And the thing is while you may like believe you know everything, or like, okay, for instance, I don't remember who said this. Oh, I do know who said this, but if your friend told you, I mean, it doesn't mean that that's always the truth. And for you to just, jump on and start, get on the bandwagon and the mob mentality, it's just not your place,
Yeah.
and it's best just to stay back. And if anybody asks you, if they ask your take, you just say, I don't really want to get involved in all of that. People don't ask my take anymore. People don't ask me for the drama, the scoop, because what do they get from me? Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard about it. Because I'm not getting involved. I'm not going to be a gossiper. I'm not going to be sitting behind the scenes and talking with so-and-so and talking with so-and-so and talking with so-and-so and trying to get all the scoop. Because honestly, I don't care. I want somebody else to do the scooping, and then I'll just see it when they post. I don't need to be, I don't have that investigative personality. Like, I don't care actually that much. Like, I don't.
Right.
Like, I find it entertaining when I see a post, or I think, ooh, that was awkward, and I kind of read and I go on. But you're not going to find me just trying to get to the bottom of it. Like, I don't care. There's so much other things that I do care about, like Harry Styles. No, just kidding. I don't know. I can't think of anything on the spot.
No, you're true. It's accurate. I think that so often someone will accuse someone of something, and half the people will just blindly say, oh, you're right, and then the next week you come and find out what the truth is, and now you have to put your foot in your mouth because what you've said was wrong.
Right.
And
And well, I was going to say, on the opposite side of that, even if you're right, it still doesn't mean that you should go do it.
right.
Because even if the proof is 100% there, okay, so for instance, say someone is getting in trouble for something they did, they've got the proof, they've got the receipts, here they are. You still don't need to get on the bandwagon of, you monster, how dare you,
Right.
this is immoral and unethical and illegal and rude and whatever, because it's just still negative energy. And you're, I don't know, you're just involving yourself in something
It's just
that,
a bad look.
and it's not, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help the person who was who got, attacked or whatever. It doesn't help the person who was in the wrong or hurt the, I mean, it's just a big old storm. It's clusterfuck. And so, having seen these over the years, nothing ever gets resolved. You know what I'm saying? Like, these, it's just, everybody just blows up and it gets heated and everybody gripes about it, and then they move on to something else. Like,
Yeah.
and it's
And
almost like,
that, like,
yeah,
firsthand.
yes, I've been involved in some of the stuff, and I got involved in like drama on a huge scale, but I kept quiet about it and didn't gossip or go on these big grand, let me explain myself or anything like that. Like, I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to keep going and keep going and keep
Yeah.
going, and I'm not going to worry about this. I don't have to defend myself. It's not true. So, or whatever, I mean, whatever they think about me or say about me is not true. I don't care. I'm not, and just keep moving. And guess what, it eventually goes away. And I don't know, there's just no need to get involved.
And when all of that was going down with the wild, I remember you posting in your group, like, don't defend me, don't, because all of your readers, they want to back you up. They want to, help. But sometimes that just perpetuates the situation. So I remember you were like, listen, you don't need to defend me. You don't need to get into fights about it. You don't need to, whatever, just, if you see something, just scroll on by,
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think it took time of like setting that example by showing that I'm not going to go and join all these fights, so you don't need to either, for other people to be like, okay, all right, well, this is annoying, but I'm going to move along, and I don't know, I just it's bothersome to me when I see people unnecessarily getting involved, and then it it blows up in their face,
Yeah.
and they were just trying to make their point or whatever, and it's like, if you would have just left it alone, maybe you wouldn't be in this situation.
Right. Like if you don't give them something to talk about, then it'll go away.
Right. Yeah. And another thing, we were kind of talking about like newbie authors and things to avoid and things like that. And I remember in the very beginning when I became an author, it was like I met this group of friends or whatever, and I just felt like, oh wow, these are my ride or die people. But they weren't. Like, not everybody is out for your best interests, and not everybody has the same values as you. And I mean, it's just, I kind of had to learn the hard way and got burned by a lot of people, that I realized, that I finally realized, okay, like not everybody's going to be my friend, and I got to be okay with that. Like in my everyday life, I'm used to like being friends with all the people that I meet, but on social media, it's so hard to know the other person on the other end of the line, or the other end of the screen, and you know how, like, I have some major trust issues. Like, I feel like, I mean, it's very hard for me to like open up 100% about things,
Yeah.
because I don't trust people, and there's like lots of reasons for that. And online, I should say, because of, I haven't really been catfished, but you know what I'm saying? Like, people act one way toward you and then go and, whisper behind your back or whatever. And I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm rambling.
It's good to just find your people and, keep those ones close.
Well, and I actually watched a TikTok today. Do you ever follow Golden Angel?
Mm-hmm.
She has like those
Just the what is it? Just the tip?
Yes, she has such good tips. And today I liked hers that she was talking about, because she was at the book signing, the one in Nashville.
The Bells,
And
or what was that it is?
yeah, Bell's Music City or something.
Yeah.
And she said that in her TikTok, she was talking about how she's with all her friends and her people that she's close to, and it's so much fun. And they kind of were talking about like writing and the biz side of it and everything. And she was basically saying it's good to have support system and people that you can like bounce ideas off of, but what works for Misty isn't going to work for Christy. And we've seen this firsthand, because you and I, we have like the same kind of brain a lot of times, and we have a lot of things the same, but then when it comes down to like implementing things, you and I have totally different like directions that we go. And that's because what works for me isn't going to work for you, and vice versa. And
we're in two very different places in our career, so it's not going to fit what works for you.
Yeah, and we're just totally different. And that's basically what she was saying on the TikTok, is that you take all of that information and you learn a little bit from this person, learn a little bit from this person, and then you build your own little thing. And she was basically saying, if you get into a situation where you have these friends or people who is your support network that are like, you have to do this, you have to do that, or you have to do this, then they're not giving you good advice, because there is no have to in any of this. And
right.
I mean, I kind of learned that in the beginning, because when I started out, people were like, oh, there's all these rules for romance and you have to follow them. You can't do this and you can't do that. And I was like, oh, okay. But, so I was kind of trying to, follow the rules. And it wasn't until I broke free and just did what I felt like was good and what I wanted to do, and didn't really care about the rules, that I started to become successful. So I think it's just, just kind of
still makes me think of the day that you were like, I have this idea for this book. Should I write it? Yes, yes, Christy, write it.
I know.
2 months later, the world explodes.
We were so like naive to like everything. Oh my gosh. Even my husband was like, Christy, you can't write that book. And I was like, I'm gonna.
We talked about that recently too, about how like spite is your number one motivating factor.
Right. Yes. Because lately I've been experiencing, I don't want to call it burnout, but there's something, and it's not just me, it's everybody, not just you, not just writers, but like the whole human planet. And I think it's just because we're going through really trying times in the last, how many ever years that are just emotionally, mentally taxing, Anyway, I just feel like bleh, all the time. Nothing motivates me except for scrolling through Pinterest or whatever, like there's nothing that's motivating or whatever. And so as a result, it's like hard to like finish some things that I need to do or get motivated to work on them. But if you told me, well, Christy, you might as well just quit. Like, oh, hell no. And I would be like, hey, Misty, I wrote 17,000 words today. Like, my evil plan worked.
I've totally used that on you before.
You've also, one time I was like, should I write this or should I write that? And you literally told me to write the one that you didn't want me to write because you knew I would do the opposite. And it worked. I was like, you played me. You manipulated me.
It's one of my superpowers. I'm able to like figure people out,
Mm-hmm.
And after I do, people rarely surprise me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it took me a little bit, but I figured it out.
And you know me like a sister would, or like my own mom, because, or even Matt, it's like, I'll start to say something and you call me on my crap. You're like, well, here we go again. And I'm like, oh, where's the support? And you're like, I'm not that kind of friend. I'm the kind of friend that tells you this is not a good idea. Like, you're not gonna, it's a bad idea. So everybody needs those. And again, that's what Golden Angel was talking about in her TikTok, was everybody needs those kinds of friends too. Like the ones that are supportive and cheer you on, but don't like lead you over the cliff just because.
Yeah.
And then you've got the friends that also are like, okay, I love you, but you're really sure you want to do that? And so it's good to have those different kinds of friends. So
yeah, for sure. So the other thing that's been going around right now is a lot of talk. Well, and it's disheartening for me because I'm seeing a lot of reviewers talk about how they're not going to be reading indie authors anymore because there's just too much drama. There's just too much, everything. Because recently there was a lot of drama about an author attacking a reader for a review. And it wasn't a mean review. It was a very critical, I think it was like a 2 or 3 star or whatever, but the author, and it's happened so many times. This isn't the only case of this happening. When the author goes after the reviewer. And I don't think it's necessarily just an indie thing, but I think it's easier for indies because we have a direct line to the reader. Whereas if you're with a publisher, there's like a in-between man.
Right. Plus, they're a lot of times bound by contracts and stuff that say, if you misbehave on social media, they'll cancel your contracts and stuff. And so it's like they kind of stay out of the mess, like, but we get like knee deep in it because we're already doing everything on our own. And so, but that's just a no line. You don't cross that line. And that's one of those, it's just one of those social media etiquettes or whatever that we were talking about. It's like, you don't, I mean, one star sell books too. So why are you going to alienate someone or a group of people that are probably helping sell your book? You're just too what is the insecure, I guess is the right word, or that you don't want that. I don't know, or defensive or whatever. And it's like, don't look at it. Don't let it bother you. And you know how I always told you that like I don't read any reviews, like negative
Yeah.
reviews, and I don't read good reviews either. And people are
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's so weird, Christy. Why do you do that?" And I kind of was like, "Am I that weird?" And Lucy Lennox, I saw that she posted that she doesn't read good reviews either.
Really?
I was like, wow. So she was just like me, because it does. There's something that it messes with your mojo for
Hmm.
some of us. And even if it's a good review, it's almost like, instead of feeling down about thinking that it wasn't good enough, now you have this pressure of, how do I do better, or how do I outperform that, or how do I make everybody give me this review?
Right.
And it's like, it's almost as damaging. And so I just try not to read any of it, because I feel like once the review's out there, like, what purpose does it serve me, as far as to help me? Like, it doesn't do anything for me to help me. It's there for everybody else, and they can read the reviews and they can decide if they want to read the books. I don't need to get all up in it. Like, it doesn't do
Yeah.
anything for me. It's not going to suddenly make me a better writer,
Yeah.
or, I just,
I read reviews. I try not to go onto Goodreads because I swear it's the worst place in the world for an author to be is Goodreads, because for whatever reason that place just invites cruel, reviews that attack the author and not just the book. And not everybody, obviously, but I try and stay away from Goodreads. But I do read my Amazon reviews. I feel like I need to make sure that what I'm thinking is good. I need like that reassurance. But if I read a bad review, I don't care. It does not hurt my feelings, not even a little bit,
mhm.
because it's not for me. Like, they didn't write it for me to read it,
Right.
and there's been books that you have loved that I just didn't care for. There's
Right.
been books that I love and you didn't care for.
Right.
So of course, not everybody is going to love my book.
Mhm.
I
Right.
don't care.
Right. Yeah. And like, I get, for me, it's not that I get sad about a bad review. It's like it feels confrontational to me. And you know how I don't like confrontation? Like, I
Yeah.
don't like feeling like someone's mad at me or whatever. Like, it evokes the same kind of emotions in me, like
Yeah.
I'm disappointing someone, and I don't like that. So, and there's nothing I can do about it. Like, it is what it is. And like you said, I could write like the best book ever, and I'm going to get a 1 star because they hated it. They hated my writing. They never want to read my books again. But then I'll have some other person that says, this book changed my life. And
Right.
so it's like, okay, focus on those and just kind of move on, and focus on why you write. And just,
Yeah.
don't
And I think every author has to figure that out for themselves, whether that's a good thing for them to read or not. But either way, it's like author 101. Do not respond to the review ever, even good ones, because that even can make, I've been a blogger, and even like knowing that the author has read it because they comment on it, like that made me feel like, oh my gosh, they're watching me.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
in my opinion, I don't even think you should comment on the good ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, it's just not our playground. Like,
Yeah.
there are so many better uses of your time than getting into all of this social media nonsense. Like, you waste so much time on all this. Like, you could literally, instead of looking at all this, you could literally be looking on TikTok for writer tips, or whatever, or book cover. Look at other people's book covers, and see like what's out there, what's trending. Like, there's so many other things that you could do that are social media that are helpful. And and instead of getting on reviews and making whatever, build relationships with people, as far as they, if you want to be in this social media, let them see that you are, like, you enjoy the same kind of books that they read, or you know, and you know, I love that book too, it's so good. Or, oh my gosh, that cover is so gorgeous. Or, you know, like get involved that way and be a positive person, because people are going to respond to that so much better, and you're going to, you know, you're just going to do better that way. So
Yeah. I feel like both you and I have like um where our image is very, very like pure and clean, and like people think that we're just like sweet and
oh,
which
we're
I mean we are.
we have dark minds.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we, you know, we get grumpy like the rest of everybody else. And like my daughter says, you know, first of all, she's mortified that she created another TikTok. She has different ones for different things, like one's for video games and one's for making edits. I don't know. Anyway, so she created this new TikTok, and the very first thing that shows up on her For You is me. And she was, Mom! And I was like, and she was like, I cannot stand this. Every time I get on my For You page, it's you. And I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm proud that the algorithms are pushing me out there. But I don't even know what's going on with that. Like,
That's
see,
funny.
yeah, and she's, yeah, it's just crazy. So
Mabel will be scrolling TikTok and I'll hear my voice and I'm like, oh, it's coming up on your For You page. She just flips right through, like does not even watch. And I'm like, you couldn't even give me a view? Like
right. Avery does the same thing. Yet when she wants me to watch her TikTok, she brings her little phone over there and forces it in my face, and then tells me to also go watch it on my phone and like it and comment on it. And I'm like, so yeah, you know,
I made the mistake of commenting on one of Mabel's one time, and then that's when her friends figured out who I was and that I have a TikTok, and I had to go on a blocking spree.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I don't comment on hers anymore.
yeah. Pass.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what are you working on right now? We haven't even talked about what we've been working on for a really long time. Probably because we haven't been working on all that much.
It's kind of like embarrassing to be like, oh, Pinterest.
Yeah.
I'm actually, okay, so I haven't been writing like I should be, but I have been working like this whole week. I redid the covers for my Vegas Aces series, an old book. I redid the covers and, you know, gave them a little bit of a facelift, because when I made them 8 years ago, they were cool, I guess, at the time. I don't know. But so much has changed since then. And they
trends change.
Yes. And I've changed as a designer, and my look and my brand has changed. And it's like, why am I leaving them out there in no man's land with no update, you know? So just because they're old and I'm embarrassed that people are going to read my old books. Well, oh, well, some people like my old books. So I did update those, but it took me a lot of time all week, because it was like making covers and then it was uploading them to all the sites and just
back matter. And
yes, just one thing after the other.
Did you read through them?
No, I didn't read through them because I didn't feel like cringing for 3 hours. But no, I did skim through some parts and I was like, oh, you know, because it was kind of like sweet or whatever. But they're cute books. They're just one of my beginning books. So and I was trying to tell my friend Erin, she was like, oh, you know, I hope nobody hates my books when I put them out there and blah blah blah. And I was like, have you seen my first books? They are they're special. Because, you know, everybody starts somewhere, you know, and so I was like, seriously, everybody starts somewhere. Don't overthink this. And anyway, so I've been working on those, but for writing, I was finishing up the like last draft of The Runaway Alien, which is the last book in the Lost Planet series with Nicole Blanchard, and we finally submitted that to the editor today. So that's what I was working on before we came up here, and I'm so happy to get that off my plate, but also sad because it's like tied it all up and it's done. So and I even wore my Ruby Dixon alien shirt.
Okay. Oh, that's so cute. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, I got it off of, I don't know, it was on Facebook or in her group or something. And it was one of those things where you have like a certain amount of time to sign up and order it, and then it goes away. It's
Yeah,
kind of
like a pre-order.
yeah. And so I got it while it was there, and then it went away. So
That's cute.
and then let's see, what else am I working on? I'm still writing on my student teacher story. And then last night I outlined something that I have coming later in the fall, which you're in too.
Oh, you outlined something? Oh man, now I feel way behind.
No, I didn't outline. I took some notes. Okay, I took some notes on my phone, so it's not really that exciting. But I'll tell you later the storyline. I can't tell these people. Not until we get 1,000 subscribers.
All 17 of you might steal the idea.
I'm not afraid they're going to steal it. I just, just trying to inspire them to, get their friends over there. Tell you all my secrets if 1,000 of you subscribe.
One of them being Avery.
Yeah.
I just had a book release.
Yes.
I thought I had a copy right here, but I don't. Riley's Biker. It did better than any of my other books have done.
Yay!
And it's a 4th in series. I was so proud of myself.
I'm so proud of you too.
Because I've worked so hard to build this series up, and it's finally like getting it to where I wanted it to be, and then realizing like I wasn't reaching high enough. So now my goal is even bigger.
Yes.
But yeah, and I'm writing the final book in the series. I think. I mean, it could always change. I will never say never, because there's still one more character I'd like to write. But it's going really, really well. Like, usually when I write, I have like ebbs and flows, like sometimes my fingers can't move fast enough and I'm just flying through the words. And then other times it's like T, H, wait, no, A,
Yeah.
Like I just keep deleting and I don't know where I'm going. And I don't know whether it's because I actually plotted this one or whether the story, I've just been thinking about it for so long that I don't know what it is, but it's going like every single time I open my laptop, 3,000 words easy.
Oh my gosh. I wish I was there. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to actually open my laptop to do it. I think I'm at like 10,000 words.
Well, that's good. That's really good.
But I got to 10,000 words in like 3 days. So
yeah.
Well, if I actually did it, I could get through the book really fast, but I'm not. But I need to, because we're going to Mexico here in a couple weeks. And I would really like to have it done before then.
Yeah.
And I finished my other book that I was writing, my older woman, younger man, one that I don't even know what I'm going to do with, but it's done. I have to get it to the editor.
You were just cranking them out.
I've never had a book like just sitting there without something to do with it.
It's good. Keep hold of it.
Yeah.
In your bank.
It almost feels like a security blanket, you know?
Yes. There was a time when I had like 6 books.
I remember that.
Bank. And then so I would love to get back into that. And that's what I'm trying to do. Like people are like, what are you doing? What's happening? It's like, just give me a chance to catch up. And I mean, technically I have 2, because Death Wish is done and the Runaway Alien is done. And so I've got a couple more that could be finished within like a month or 2. So it's good. I'm making that headway again, but it's like I'll be so much happier when I've got several things. And so and
that's what I want to do too. I want to write what I have to write, and then write one of these that go along with this little series thing that I'm building up. And then write one that I have to, and then write another one that goes inside this bank, just to stockpile them.
Yes, and then you'll feel better, and then it's easier. This all goes hand in hand with our let's be smarter about our publishing and not just throw them out there the second we get done, like, here it is, I'm so excited. It's like,
Yeah.
no, hold on to it for a little bit, because you might be able to do some stuff with it. Just
Yeah.
patient, and
And put more thought into how you want it to be presented and
right, the whole packaging and everything. And I'm telling you, I've been learning a lot in the past couple months about packaging the book to market, and for so long I just did whatever I thought was pretty or I liked, or what was artsy, and that's not necessarily what the readers are expecting or whatever. So now, while my readers will go buy it because they like my books or whatever, and they trust me, I'm trying to reach also new readers,
a broader audience. Yeah.
right? And so they need to be able to look through romantic suspense and see my book in a romantic suspense category, and it matches all the others in theme wise, and so they know, okay, this is on the similar vein or whatever. So been learning.
Yeah. I think that's all I'm working on right now. Getting ready to go to Tulsa. And also my paperback orders are like insane lately. And it probably goes along with Riley Spiker's release, but what was it? Day before yesterday, I had Lorelai and Ty in here helping me because I was so overwhelmed.
Yep. Now you know why I have Matthew, because when it gets crazy like that, and there comes a point where it starts to just become continuous, like not just I talked about it on TikTok, so I got a burst this week or whatever. Like after a while, when you continue to market the same way and try to reach those same people, it just starts to just always be that way, which is great because you're doing a great job, but it's also like, okay, something's got to change. I can't do all this by myself.
Yeah. That's how I felt. I was like, there's no way. I mean, there's just no way. So luckily I paid my kid minimum wage. Ty did it out of the kindness of his heart.
Yeah, there was times when
we got them all done.
One time I decided I was going to release a book, Hail, when Holly went on vacation.
Oh yeah, that was silly, especially because it wasn't on Amazon, so the only paperback that they could get was from you.
Exactly. I was such a goober to do that, and I was so overwhelmed by paperback orders, and my husband had to help me, and he is great at helping, but he's also a funny guy, and so he was trying to stick in like funny things into the packages that were funny to me, but I didn't know about this person who bought this. They would think his humor was funny, so I was like, please, do not put that sticker that says do not put your dick in the machinery, like don't put that sticker in their book order.
Well, if they're ordering Hail, they probably are okay with most things.
True. This is true. Did I hold on? You just stay right there. I got to show them really fast.
All right. I'm not going anywhere. I'll just stay here and talk to myself.
Okay. So this isn't a plug about my Patreon, but I ordered these candles from Novelly Yours candles.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I could smell it. They're so cute.
It smells.
They say K Webster.
They say K Webster Book
Bestie.
Yeah, and so I'm giving these out to my Club Midnight patrons, and in March. And anyway, so these were not that expensive, and these are the big ones. And I think the minimum order was $50, and she creates a custom label for you, so I didn't have to do like the picture. I told her kind of what I wanted, and I got to create my own scent. It was super overwhelming because she sent me like 80,000 scents and like combinations, and I was like, and so finally I chose a couple, and I was like, I don't know if these are good or not. Like, you've got the nose for it. Can you tell me like what are some good scents? And so she gave me a couple of like good scents that kind of go together. And I was like, okay, what about this one, and this one? Which this one is coffee, caramel, and whipped cream.
Ooh.
And she said, yeah, that will be a really good scent. And so I just trusted her. And this is the second time I've ordered candles from her. I ordered the little ones for my Wild and Free book box, but people are always asking like about swag and stuff. And Novelly Yours is, the lady is so nice to email back and forth with, just great customer service. She packages them really well. I mean, these are top notch, like super, very nice quality. And so if you're looking for like something special, this really is a cool thing. And like they just smell good, and they're, I don't know, they're really nice. So
do you only order as many as you're going to need for your Patreon?
no, she had a minimum of 50 because, you know, they have to make the effort of making all these. And I only have, I think, 9 people in my Club Midnight. So I will keep them for future people that join. And so so if whenever a new person joins into that higher tier, I'll send them a candle. Even if it's like 6 months from now and I still have them or whatever. So and that's kind of with all the paperbacks, like I bought a bunch of them ahead of time, but then, you know, only a certain amount of people came because people are still learning about it and I'm still learning about it. And so now I've got all these extra books, but they're special for this program. So I can't give them away or sell them on my website or anything like that. So, which that's okay. I mean, these people paid for exclusivity, and I don't want to like mess that up. And so, so now the most recent book that I ordered, instead of ordering 100 like I did, I ordered like 20, you know, so that way if there was some extra people that hopped in on March, I would have extras. So anyway, I'm learning on the Patreon thing. And you know, the thing that I'm learning the most is people really do want to be a part of your VIP or your cool program,
exclusive,
but you got to make sure that it is cool and worth the time and the money. And so like one of the things they like is they like seeing early things. So and I have special swag made for them and things like that. And they like that it's just for them, you know. And they you know, I'm very quiet and not quiet, but like private about my process and about what I'm doing and things like that, just because the more I talk about it, the more anxiety I get. And so but with them, it's like I'm learning to open up a little bit and say, you know, this week I'm working on this. Here's a little screenshot of what I'm working on. You know, like I actually show them my work, and that's like unheard of for me. And they love it. They absolutely love it, and they're so supportive, and they cheer me on. And it really is a really nice experience. I was nervous to start the Patreon. And even my sister, she helps me, and she was like, Christy, I'm really nervous about this. Like, I don't know what we're going to do. And I was like, I know what we're going to do. Like, I have the content. I can, and I know I will interact because that's what I do. I said, I just need help with like, you know, you keeping up with like who's here and who needs what, you know, because like if there's sticker of the month, those people need to get mailed out. And so she kind of keeps up with the back end, and then I keep up with being the face of it, because, you know, that's what the people are there for. So it's been fun so far.
It's exciting.
So I mean, and it's another, you know, stream of income that takes a little effort, but it's worth it. And I can see how it'll grow, and it'll continue to grow. And especially once these people realize how spoiled they are with all the goodies and you know, all this stuff, you know, they'll become loyal customers or whatever, patrons, because, you know, you don't just take their money and be like, okay, here's the bare minimum, hopefully you'll want to stay. You know, it's like, ooh, what are we going to do for you guys next month, you know? And I even let them vote for April which paperback which special edition paperback we should do, and hardback.
That's cool.
So right now my Torrent is winning. And so now I've got to come up with a different cover, because I just done a new. You just barely did one new one, But what I would do is do one that's like got where I can do like gold foil.
Ooh, yeah.
So I can do something that incorporates the pennies and you know, and do something like that, but like really play up the effects and the finish and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's fun. It's been really fun. So
Awesome. I know I have to stop myself from joining my, I see because you show me everything that you do and I'm like, should I just, and then I'm like, no.
If I could figure out a way.
I have FOMO.
I know. FOMO is hard. And it's kind of like, I don't want, and I feel like I want to include everybody. Like that's my personality. Like, let's include everybody. Let's,
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are VIP clubs and stuff for a reason. I mean,
right.
Musicians do it all the time. And there are the people that do want to be the special ones. And if they've got the money to do it, then that's the thing. So it's been a new retraining of my brain to, yes, this is for everyone. If you can't do it, that's fine. You've got all these other things. I'm constantly coming out with new covers of my other books and special fun things and new swag. So you're not completely left out. But then we've got like this high-end, really exclusive stuff for people that just really want something neat and different and special, like true collectors and things like that. So anyway, that's it.
Well, I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job with it.
I'm a little pioneer.
I know you are. Yeah. I have people message me all the time and be like, did you see what Kay Webster is giving her Patreon?
Oh, really? Oh my God.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, should I do it? And then I'm always like, yeah, go do it.
I know. And it's only going to get better because, like, I mean, these candles, like, these smell so good that, I mean, I don't know. It smells like a coffee shop, like not just like a Starbucks, but like, have you ever gone to like one of those, like in Seattle where there's like, because you're from that area, but like one of the like fun little downtown coffee shops that, have like poetry reading or whatever, just something like little bookstore and just something really fun and comfy and cozy. That's just what this candle reminds me of.
Nice.
Let me talk some more about my candle.
Well, coffee and caramel and whipped cream. That's like my ideal combination. So I can only imagine it smells really good.
So whenever you come visit Tulsa, you're going to be like, oh, Holly, smuggle me a candle.
If I see them on the shelf, I'll be like, whoop.
Yep.
Taking that with me. Okay. No, I'm not allowed to burn candles.
Oh, you're not.
I forget to blow them out. And then my husband yells at me. So,
I always put, I only, if I burn a candle, I always put it on the stove, on the little hot plate thing, and I burn it there. And that way, if I forget it and it like melts down, it's on the stove.
Yeah.
That's literally the only place I burn candles.
That's smart.
I know.
Not me. I have so many candles. Like I have about, I don't know, 7 or 8 just right there that I will never burn because my husband will yell at me.
Well, and then whenever I burn them in the kitchen, they come out of the woodwork, my family, and they're like, what are you making?
Nothing. Jeez.
No, we're not having cinnamon strudel, whatever you smell. Go eat a Pop-Tart, man.
Okay. So we have 10 minutes. We've got to get through what we're reading because I have so much that I've been reading and listening to. I'm excited. Really? So you go first.
Okay. So I gotta look at my little Kindle here. So I am on book 2 of the Cascadia series by Sarah Lyons Fleming. And remember I told you last time that I read the 27-hour audiobook?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is book 2, and I actually had to read the ebook because they didn't have the audiobook until like March the 15th or something, and I couldn't wait that long. So I've been reading that, but since I've been busy, I haven't read as much. And then I had a friend send me a little short story that she needs me to read. It's her debut kind of thing. So I need to do that. And then I have a book, Don't You Dare, that I still need to read by C.E. Ricci or Ricky. That's how you pronounce it, Ricky. And,
is it Ricky? I've always said Ricci.
It's Ricky. I did too. And she told me when we were talking one day that it's Ricky.
Oh,
So,
well, now I feel like an idiot because we had her
now
on the
you know.
show and I just introduced her as
Yep.
Rachel.
I learned this, I think, after the fact. And then I
Oh,
also
okay.
have Riley's Biker by the famous Misty Walker. So I got to
Yeah.
read that one too. But those are my digital books that I'm going to be reading. And I'm still reading that one. And then you ready for this?
I'm ready.
My pickle book. You ready? You ready? You actually know because I showed you already. This one is called The Dream Interpretation Dictionary. It will unlock the power of your dreams. And so I've been reading up on, because we got to talking about dreams and you were like telling me what certain meanings were. And I was like, I need a dictionary. So I've been reading through these and it's very interesting. And it lines up with, a lot of them I realized they're anxiety. Like when you dream of like
shocker.
Yeah. Like when you dream of bugs and infestation or bugs swarming and things like that's an anxiety thing. And I was like, oh, because I do have dreams like that a lot. But anyway, so yeah, it's pretty fun so far. What about you?
Okay, so I'm listening to, well, I've listened to so many books lately because I've had so much admin work and then also like packing up orders and stuff that I have listened to so many audiobooks the last 2 weeks. It's insane, like probably one a day. I won't get into all of them, but I'll tell you my favorites. Okay, I listened to the When Heroes Fall and When Villains Rise by Gianna Darling, and it was so good. So good. I think I was listening to that last time we and have you ever read Jodi Ellen Malpass? She's like an older author. She's one of the first romance authors that I read, like when I started going into my huge reading binges. And I haven't read anything from her after I found indie authors because I just got so wrapped up, that indie authors just rapid fire release. And so but she had a book called The Brit and it sounded good. And it was probably the best book that I've listened to all year so far. Probably even last year. It was so good. And then right now, and I did not want to do the podcast because I have 6 hours left of it. Not What It Seems by Nikki James.
Is it good?
Oh my gosh, it is so good, Christy. You have to read it or listen to it. Okay.
Okay, I'll listen to the audio.
Here's the premise. There's two guys. They hooked up for an entire weekend and then months go by. One guy is a psychologist and the other guy, months down the road, is in a mental institution for being a serial killer. And he's the psychologist or psychiatrist. I don't know which one. Anyway, that's where we start the book.
Oh my God. It's
crazy. And it is so, so good.
I love her books. And I don't think I've ever listened to hers on audio, so I need to do it.
She uses, I think his name is Nick Russo for all of her audiobooks, like every single one. And he's fantastic. He's an amazing narrator. So,
okay. I'll listen to that one next.
Yeah, you should. And then my friend, Kay Howlett, she's a horror writer and she just released her first romance book. And I went into it completely blind, thinking that it would be like a dark romance. Like that made sense to me. And so the entire book, while I'm reading it and like something would happen that would be sweet, I'm like, oh yeah, here it comes. That, it sounds sweet, but it's not. Somebody's gonna die. No, it was very, very sweet and beautiful and romantic. So I read that. I'm halfway into Destruction by Minnie Sloan, which she is a newer author. And that one's really, really good. And then I saw a TikTok from Kelly Fox. She's an MM author. And it was for her new book, Extradition. And so the way that she did her TikTok, it just like hooked me. And I'm like, I have to read that book right this second. So I went and bought it and I'm halfway through it, and it is so good. And now it's one of those books where you love the writing so much that now all of a sudden you want to read every single thing that author has written.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be buying her entire backlist, and
I'll have to check that out, because when I was doing my book cover research, I kept coming across some of hers, and I was like, I don't think I've read any of her books before. So
yeah, she's really, really good. I'm wildly impressed. And she's a really sweet person too. I'm actually trying to make her my friend right now.
this is what we do. We force people to be our friends.
I just dropped into her DMs like fangirling, like, okay, I'm warning you right now, I'm gonna gush. So you can either read through or just skip to the very ending paragraph because I'm so awkward and embarrassing. But
yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, she's really, really cool. I like her. So that's what I'm reading. I haven't been inspired to like read or write or anything in a long time, so it feels good to be.
Well, I was like on a binge on reading the zombie books, and then I just got so busy doing it, and my brain is so like one track.
Mm-hmm.
And you know this, like I'm either reading every single book that ever existed, or I'm playing every single game of Candy Crush that ever existed, or I'm writing all the books in one day, and so I can't ever do. So that's why when I'm reading, it's like I go in little spells, and so I might go several days without reading at all, and then I will read like 3 books, so
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, some weeks you're like, oh, I read 27 books and blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, I listened to a quarter of a book. It just comes and goes in waves for whatever reason. I don't even get it. Well, but I love it when I'm like this.
Yeah, same. I love when I can get into just reading all the books. It's just, I don't know, reading makes me happy, and I don't know.
Yeah. All right. We are okay. Our producer will be so happy. I think we're like 1 hour on the dot.
Oh my gosh. Yay, go us.
I always look at the time and go, uh-oh, we're going to be in trouble this time.
Yep. What else is new?
But we did good. Thank you guys for joining us. This was fun. Yes. And we will be back in 2 weeks. Remember to subscribe, follow, leave us comments, tell us what you want us to talk about, because we obviously have no clue what we want to talk about.
Fly by the seat of our pants, and
thankfully we can always talk. So
yeah, I know we always got stuff to say.
Yeah.
May just be a whole bunch of random topics, but we make it work.
Yeah. And we will be back in 2 weeks. Bye.